let's bring ourselves into the center of the mat. And we shall sit and we shall breathe. So just take a moment to just check that you're happy in the seated position of your choice. It doesn't have to be cross-legged. You could be sitting on your knees or with your legs out front. It's whatever's comfortable to you. So long as you can just sit up nice and deliberately and that you have space to breathe. So let's begin by taking a nice long breath in through the nose. And let your chest swell. Let even your belly start to swell as well. And then release. And then let's just start to find a nice little rhythm to your breathing. And if it helps to close your eyes here, then go for it. And just notice the thoughts that are swirling around in your head. And then see if you can take a little bit of a back step from them. So they can continue to be swirling around in your head. You pay less attention to them. So let's take our left hand down on the floor beside us, up onto its fingertips. Good. Let's reach the other hand up towards the ceiling. Then press the palm down on the left hand and tilt yourself over to stretch the right side of your body. Good, let's windmill our hands over. Do the same thing, so reach up nice and high, then plant the hand down and stretch over. Good, come all the way back up. This time bring both hands down onto the floor, take them back a little bit, up onto the fingertips, roll the shoulders back. Long breath in, lift your chest. And then exhale to press that chest forwards and fold as far forwards as you are able to. Now keep trying to press your chest forwards, feeling like you're flattening out your back, stretching it. Good, and then draw yourself all the way back up. Good, just shake out your wrists, squeeze your fingers open and close. Roll your shoulders towards your ears and then back and down a few times, and then go in the opposite direction. Turn your head to look over your left shoulder, and then turn it to look over your right. Good. When you're ready, bring yourselves forwards onto your mat so that you're on all fours. Spread your fingers nice and wide onto the mat and take care to see if you can try and press more weight down into the finger pads and less away from the base of your wrists. Good, let's move ourselves into a nice steady cat-cow, okay? So dipping our stomach towards the floor, bum goes to the back of the room and you look forwards. Good, as you exhale, lift from the center of your back, tuck your tailbone down and look between your knees. And maybe start moving at a pace that best suits you. Just so you can start to feel some mobility in your hips and in your shoulders. Good, and then bring yourself back to a neutral spine. Good, we're going to slide our left foot back, okay? Now get a nice grasp of the mat with your toes and press that heel back. So that left leg is nice and strong. Now with the top part of your body, I want you to try and pull your body forwards whilst pressing your heel back still. So it's like you're trying to pull your body in 2 different directions. Good, now pause there, claw your hands into the mat, and then let your left foot float away from the floor. Good, hold it there, breathe. Good, now nice and slowly, we're gonna start to curl our leg underneath us. Squeeze it up, press down firmly with your hands, and then send that leg all the way back and out. Good, curl it underneath again, and this time step it so you get as far up in between your hands as possible. Okay, you can use your hands to shift it a little higher if you wish. Good, then inhale, we're gonna lift our hands up towards the ceiling, stretching out our spine nice and long. Good, before folding ourselves back over our front knee. Good, now lift your back knee away from the floor. Again, strengthen by pressing its heel back. And then again, lift and rise up into a high lunge. Good. Now see if you can take a deeper bend into that front knee. Really sink in where you can. And then fold yourself back towards the floor. Good, we're gonna lower that back knee down. We're then gonna pad our hands back to shift our hips back. Now you may be able to get this front leg straight, or you may still have a bend in it, it does not matter. If you can't reach the floor, bring one hand or both up towards your thigh. Just hold it there. Should be able to feel a stretch running up the side and back of your left leg. Good, re-bend into that knee, hands go down onto the mat. We're gonna send our left foot back and up, and then down. Press the heel back before bringing it back to all fours. Good, again, let's do some cat-cow movements here. Drop that belly, stick your bum back. Exhale, lift from the center of your back, tuck your tailbone. Good. And then when you're ready, reach that neutral spine again. Give your tailbone a wiggle. Good. Now let's slide our right leg back. Good. Now press that heel back, strengthen up that leg. Press and claw your hands into the mat and try and pull your body forwards while your leg goes back. Like you're trying to pull yourself in 2 different directions. Good. Then let that right leg float up towards the ceiling. If your right hip opens up, square your hips back towards the floor. Keep that leg strong. Good. Inhale strongly as you draw that leg underneath you. Squeeze it up. Press your hands down into the mat as much as you can. Good. Before sending it all the way back out. Good. This time curl it underneath and step the foot up in between your hands. Good. Inhale. Let's lift ourselves up into low lunge. Reach yourself up nice and tall. Good, before folding back over that front foot. Lift the back knee away from the floor, press the heel back. Good, and then lift and rise up into a high lunge. Good, sink yourself back into that front knee. Good, before folding forwards again. Lowering your left knee down towards the floor, pad your hands back towards you, or maybe bring your hands up onto your thigh. So you're straightening out that front leg. Hold it there, breathe. Feel that stretch. Good, before rebending into that front knee, sliding the right leg back and up, then down, press the heel back, and then the knees come in underneath your hips. Again, give your tailbone a wiggle from side to side. Hands can stay forwards towards the top of the mat, just making sure again that you're pressing the weight into your finger pads. Tuck the toes, and then slowly lift knees away from the floor to take yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Again, give your tailbone a wiggle here. Good. Now let's take a strong breath in. Press with your feet and pull yourself forwards into a plank. Hold yourself steady, look forwards. Good. Lift your hips and go back into downward facing dog. Keep those hips lifting as high as you can. Stretch out your back. Good. Again, press your feet in, move forwards. Plank, look forwards. If you feel your hips sagging towards the floor, lift them up. Good. Take it back. Downward facing dog. Good. Take a long breath in here. And then let it go. Good. Now we're going to find some buoyancy into our legs here. Look forwards in between your hands. Now you have an option here, either to walk, run, or to fly to the top of the mat. Okay, your choice. Once you're at the top of the mat, hang low over your legs. Make sure your legs are nice and straight here so you can really feel the back of the legs stretching. Top part of your body is hanging nice and loose over your legs. Good. When you're ready, bend your knees, stick your bum back, reach your hands up into chair pose. Good, now sink down, keep going. Keep sinking as far as you possibly can until eventually you can bring your hands behind you to support you as you go into a little squat. Good, walk your hands back to the back of the mat so you end up in like this little like crab shape. Now we're going to lift our hips and drop them. Lift our hips, drop them. Lift our hips, drop them. Lift them up, drop them down. Lift them up, drop them down. Lift them up, drop them down. Good. Next time you drop them down, pause there. Bring your bum back down onto the mat. Take your legs a little bit wider so they come off of the mat. Bring your hands into the center and then just try and reach your chest forwards. Okay, you should feel inner thighs are stretching. Breathe. Good. Bring yourself back with your spine straight. Cross your legs. Bring your body forwards and hands forwards. Uncross your legs so you go back into downward facing dog. Or just get yourself into downward facing dog in whichever capacity you can get yourself there. Good. Now we're going to cycle into the backs of our legs here. So bending each knee in turn, loosening up. Good. Give your tailbone a wiggle. Long breath in through your nose. And then let it go. Good. Press into your right foot and lift your left leg up behind you. Good. We're now going to curl that leg underneath us and step it as far as you can up in between your hands. Then we're going to take that foot a little bit further out towards the left edge of the mat. Good. Now draw your left hand up the side of your left leg and then start to twist and turn. Reaching that left arm nice and high. Now strengthen your right leg. Press that heel back. Breathe. Good. Now we're going to bring this left hand down towards the floor, but on the inside of your left leg. Good. Now we can just rock gently backwards and forwards here on the balls of our feet. Good. Now you have an option here. We can either, well, first of all, both bring yourself up onto your finger pads, okay, just to give yourself a little extra height. Now you can either drop your back knee down and generally shift it a little bit closer towards you and then bring your foot next to your hands, or you can just go straight from your lunge to bring your foot down. Okay, so it's a wide leg forward fold. Good. Now draw yourself up nice and slowly. Good. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Press those palms towards the ceiling. Stretch out your spine. Good. Then we're going to bend our knees, bring our hands down past our face and chest. Taking ourselves all the way back down towards the floor. Good. So our legs are wide, like this. We're then going to lower our hips down. Now you may be coming up high onto your toes here, or you may be able to get them down onto the floor, just as long as you've managed to find yourself into this squat and your hands are forwards. Good, we're going to take our right hand out to the side on the inside of the knee, if you can. Then we're going to imagine we're pulling a bowstring all the way to the top and then round our body back round. Good, again, pull that bowstring all the way up, round it all the way back round. Good, pull it up and round it back down. Good, bring your hands back into the center. Lift your hips up again. So you should still be at the top of your mat. Good. Inhale to lift yourself all the way up towards the ceiling. Breathe, long breath in. Let it go. Good, inhale, stretch yourself long. And then fold yourself back down towards the floor. Good, step both feet back into a plank. Take yourself down through a chaturanga. Knees can come to the floor if you wish. And then back into a cobra. Tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Good, give your bum a wiggle. Good. When you're ready, right leg lifts. Curl that leg underneath you. Step the foot up in between your hands. Let's take that right foot right out to the edge of the mat. Good, let's draw our right hand up the side of our right leg and then reach it towards the ceiling as you turn your body to the right as well. Let's strengthen out our left leg. Breathe. Good, let's bring that right hand back down onto the inside of that right foot. You may be able to just shift forwards and backwards here on the balls of your feet. Good. Now either, again, bring your knee down, shift it closer towards you, and bring your left foot up that way. Or, in one movement, step yourself so that you come towards the top of your mat with your legs wide. Good. Inhale, roll the body up. As you get to the top of your inhale, reach your hands. Then exhale to draw your hands past your face. Back down towards the floor. We're going to go back down into that squat, bringing our bum down. Hands are in between our legs. Good. This time we're going to take our left hand out to the side. We'll do the same thing with those bow pulling strings. Good. So when you're ready, inhale. Pull that imaginary bow and then let it go as you round your arm back towards the left. Good. Inhale. Pull that bow and then let go. Again, inhale, pull, and let go. Good, bring your hands back to the center, lift your hips. So you're at the top of your mat. Good, this time, reach your hands forwards as you pull yourself all the way up. Reach your hands up nice and high. Good, before folding your way back down towards the floor. Hands go down, step both feet back into plank. Good. Yogi's choice, either bring the knees to the floor or keep them raised as you go through chaturanga and up into cobra. Let your shoulders relax. Smile. Good. Then shift yourself back into a child's pose. And breathe. Now start to press your hands down firmly into the mat to pull yourself up. Good, take the hands a little further forwards. Finger pads deeply into the mat, tuck the toes. Take it up and back, downward facing dog. Good, when you're ready, lift your right leg up. Curl it underneath your body, step it up in between your hands. Good, when you're ready, lift into a high lunge, and then we're going to pivot on our back foot to bring ourselves out into a warrior 2. Let's put it wrong there. Good. Now take a look at your feet. Are you happy with the direction and the planting that you've put onto your feet? Would you like to go wider or shallower? Good. When you're happy with your feet, bend deeply into that right knee. Bring your arms out. Turn and look over your right hand. Good. Then bring your left hand to your waist. Turn your right hand so that the palm is pointing the ceiling. And then slowly lift into an exalted warrior. Keep the bend into the front knee. Good. And then bring it back to center. 2 more like that. Inhale. Lift. Exhale back. Again, inhale. Lift. Exhale. Back. Good. Elbow comes down onto the top of your right knee. Now you can either keep your left hand where it is and just try and shift your left shoulder back and turn and look towards the ceiling. Or if you want to, you can bring your left hand up towards the ceiling. Keep the bend, that front knee nice and deep. Breathe. Good, and then let's bring ourselves wherever you are back into warrior 2. Good, now let's make our feet just a little bit less wide for this next bit, just to make it a little easier. So just bring your back foot in, or your front foot, depending on which is easier for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bend deeply into this front knee and we're going to aim to put our hand onto the floor. Okay, if you can't quite reach the floor and you have bricks to hand, you can always bring your brick in, or you can bring a chair in, and I'll do it in the reverse on the next side so you can see. If not, you can always bring your hand to your ankle or shin. And what I'd like you to try and do is we're going to try and move into a balance where we draw the back foot in, press into the right foot, and then lift that left foot away from the floor before popping it back down onto the floor. Warrior 2. Long breath in, lift your arms. Exhale to pivot your hands down towards the floor. Unplug your left heel. Step back into a plank. Yogi's choice, bring the knees to the floor, or keep them raised as you pull forwards and down through chaturanga. Back and up into cobra. Long breath in. Let it go. Good. Flip on your toes and take yourself back to downward facing dog. I'm just going to reverse myself here. You can stay exactly where you are. When you're ready, left leg lifts itself up towards the ceiling. Good, then curl it underneath. Step it up as high as you can up in between your hands. Again, if it never quite makes it, you can always lower your back knee down and manually shift that foot to where you wish it to go. Good, then when you're ready, inhale. Let's lift into a high lunge. Good, pivot ourselves out, lowering the back heel. Warrior 2. Good, let's bring our right hand to our waist. Turn the left palm to face the ceiling. Bend deeply into our left knee. Good, and then lift. Exalted warrior. Back to center. Good. Lift. Exalted warrior. Back to center. Last one. Inhale. Lift. Back to center. Good. Let's bring that left elbow to connect with the left knee. Now we can either keep our right hand where it is, shifting the shoulder back, looking towards the ceiling, or we can bring it up towards the ceiling. Breathe, wherever you are, breathe. Good, and then from there, let's go back into warrior 2. Good, bring your hand to your waist again. Bend into the front knee. You may need to bring your back foot in a little bit here to help. Again, you can bring something to hold on to if you need to, brick or anything that you think will help. Pressing into our left foot, lifting the right foot away. Holding it nice and steady. Good, before popping this leg back down. And then coming back up into warrior two. Good, take a long breath in, lift your shoulders. Exhale, pivot your hands down towards the floor. Unplug your back heel. Step yourself back into a plank. Good, then take yourself down through a chaturanga and back into a cobra. Good. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Good, take a long breath in here. Sigh it out. Now when you're ready, we're going to draw our right knee underneath us. But instead of stepping our foot, we're going to bring the knee right up in between our hands if you can. And the toe untucks on the right foot. Good, bring your left knee down as far as you can. You may not be able to. Depends on the flexibility of your quad muscles, which are these ones, and your inner thighs. Good, come high onto your fingertips here. See if you can slide your back foot back as much as possible, but keep the toes tucked to help not let the leg come out to the side. Good. Hold it here. Breathe. So you should be feeling a stretch on either the quad, this muscle, or the inner thighs here, or maybe even your lower back, upper bum. Just find a position that you can hold and just breathe through it. Good, then wherever you are, bring yourself back down onto your palms, and then we're going to shift ourselves so we come onto our right hip, goes down onto the floor. And then untuck the toes of the back foot so the foot comes down as well. So we want to try and keep our right foot up close to the top of the left thigh. Good. Now see if you can slide your right hand forwards. So you come to lying down onto the floor on your side. Left hand goes onto your left hip. This is where you can stay if you wish, or if you feel like you can turn your torso so that you can look towards the floor, taking it into a little twist with both hands and arms down onto the floor, and go for it. So you could be here, or you could be here. Wherever you are, breathe. Good, now if you've gone into stage 2, bring yourself back to stage 1. And we're going to draw our right hand back so it's just above the right knee. Good, now see if you can press and lengthen out your left leg here. Okay, so I'm trying to press the sole of my foot down onto the floor. And what we're going to do is we're going to press into our right knee to lift our bum up. Okay, and then lean back and reach up with our left hand, taking it into a half wild thing. Good, now let's bring that left hand back down towards the floor. Turn back onto the toes of your left foot. So you're coming back towards the position you were in. Slide the right leg back. Take yourself down through a chaturanga, back into a cobra. And then press yourself back into downward facing dog. Good, take a long breath in. Sigh it out. Good, when you're ready, we're going to draw our left leg forwards. Bring it up in between your hands, untuck the toes. Keep the back toes tucked. Come high onto your fingertips so you can maneuver yourself into your best position where you can feel either your quad and or your inner thigh and or your upper back, lower back muscles stretching. Now see if you can hold it here and breathe. Good, now when you're ready, we're going to start to send that hip down towards the floor. Good, now you can turn onto the heel of your back foot here. Now again, see if you can reach your left hand forwards and down onto the floor, bringing your right hand onto your hip. If you feel like you can go further, maybe bringing your right forearm down, squaring your chest towards the floor, taking it into a twist. Okay, so know what your body wants, feel what your body wants, and breathe. A good rule of thumb is that if you're struggling to breathe in the position you're in, you should probably take it back a bit. Good, let's draw that right hand back. Go back into that first stage, but draw the left hand back towards you. Good, now start to press down onto the sole of your right foot, stretching out that right leg. Press down your left knee, and then lift your hips up. And maybe take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Half wild thing. Good, let's take that right hand back down towards the floor, come back onto the toes of your right foot, back into the position you were in, and then slide your left leg back. Take yourself down through a chaturanga, forwards and up into a cobra, and then let's take it back into a child's pose. And breathe. And then when you're ready, slowly draw yourself up. So you're sitting on your heels, roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. Good, then we're going to swing ourselves around onto our bum and take our legs forwards, straight out in front of us. Good, let's bring our left knee in. Okay, keep the toes active on the right foot. If you can, pop that left leg over onto the outside of the right, if you can. Good, now with your right arm, stretch it forwards. See if you can wrap the arm around your left leg. Okay, if you can't, you may just have to use your hand. It's not a problem. It's whatever your flexibility ranges are. Good, then with the other hand, we're going to cycle it round behind us. Press it down into the floor to lift ourselves up, and then pull on this leg to try and twist ourselves around. Now try and keep your head pointing straight off to the left-hand side. Oh. What's happened? Are you all still there? Something's happened to my computer.
I'm still here.
Okay, good. Oh, it's trying to do some kind of reboot. No, I don't want to do it. I'm still here too. Yay, we're all still here. Hold on a second while let me unfurl myself. For you, you can just go back to having your legs out in front of you while I sort out this crisis. Okay. Okay. I think everything's good. Okay, let's just do the same thing as we just did with the other leg. Okay, so bringing in your right leg, popping it over. If you can still have it this side if you like. You can still do the same things. Okay, but popping it over just gives you a little extra stretch down the side of your leg. Wrap your arm around, take the right hand behind, and just do a little side twist. Good, and then bring yourself back towards the front. Take both legs out in front. And we're just going to do a forward fold. Hands down by the side of our legs. Edge your hands forwards. Keep your chest forwards. Keep your shoulders back as much as you can. If you know that you can comfortably take hold of your feet, then go for it. If you're like me, where my shoulders are coming over the top, like this, I need to take it back a bit, okay? So I can bring my shoulders down here and take hold of my legs. Good, so my chest is pressing forwards and I can feel that stretch running up the back of my legs and into my bum. Breathe. Wherever you are, breathe. Good, and then slowly draw yourself up. Good, let's bring the soles of the feet towards us and try and shift them as close to your body as you can. Taking the legs wide. And breathe. You can either have your arms on your knees like this, or just in your lap like this, or taking hold of your feet like this. See if you can try and sit upright where you can, where possible. And just allow your inner thigh muscles here to stretch. Good, then when you're ready, draw your knees up towards your chest. Feet are flat down on the floor, knees are bent, back is straight. Good, we're going to take our hands parallel to the floor, palms pointing down. Shift your shoulders back and then engage your core muscles, so your abs and your chest. Squeeze them, long breath in. And then slowly, with control, start to take yourself back until you come down onto the floor and lower your hands. Good, with your knees still bent, draw them a little bit closer towards your bum. Just a touch. If you're able to, try and graze the back of your ankles with your fingers. Don't worry if you can't do this. It's more of an indicator that your feet are in a good position. Good, now press down on an inhale, straight down into the floor with your feet and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Good, keep trying to press your hips higher and higher. Before gently lowering them back down towards the floor. Good, keeping the knees where they are. Gently swing the knees from side to side. Each time you move from one side to the other, go a little bit further until eventually you can bring your knees down towards the floor on either side, rolling onto the hip to do so. Good, and then when you're ready, bring your knees back to facing the ceiling. Start to press your feet forwards. And then take a long breath in through your nose. And then let it go. And now relinquish any control of your breathing. Let it become automatic. Let it go at the pace that it wishes to go at. And instead guide your mind and your attention to any part of your body that's touching the mat. So that could be the back of your head, your shoulder blades, your bum, your lower back, your calves, your ankles and your heels, parts of your arms. And just feel them getting heavy and soft, like they're spreading across the mat. And then when you're ready, slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and your nose. Start to take a deeper breath in through your nose, filling your belly and your lungs, and then let it go. On your next inhale, draw your knees closer towards your chest, or just bend your knees. And then slowly roll yourself over to either the right or the left-hand side, pressing yourself up to come back to your seated position that you took at the beginning of today's class. And then take a nice long breath in through your nose. Reach the crown of your head towards the ceiling and let your shoulders release. And then gently flutter your eyelids open. Thank you for joining for today. I hope you have a good rest of your Friday and weekend. But to all of you who have practiced today, but most importantly to yourselves, we can bow and say, Namaste.